friends, it's your old pal Mrs. Springer. Jesus bless you, I miss you. Today's math video is going to talk about fractions. I know a lot of people when they think of fractions they get a little queasy. So today we're just going to review what a fraction is and the parts of a fraction and help you think a little bit about it because numbers work a little bit differently in fractions than they do when we're just counting. But don't be nervous, it'll be easy. All right, so let's look at the parts of a fraction. Fraction has three parts. It has a top number, which is called the numerator. If you've ever been in my classroom, we always do the little dance, numerator. The numerator's at the top. That's what I have. Then there's a line underneath that called the fraction bar. In higher level math, that can also be a division sign, but we're just going to call it a fraction bar right now. So we have the numerator, the fraction bar, and then the bottom number is the denominator. Numerator, denominator. So numerator's at the top, that's what I have. Then the fraction bar, then the denominator, which is how many are in all or in a whole one. Okay? So let's look at, I have some pies that have been cut, and I have one piece colored in. And let's see if we can figure out what the fraction for that would be. So I know I need a fraction bar, and I know I have a numerator, which is how many are colored in. Well, how many are colored in? 1. How many in all, in the whole thing? 1, 2, 2. So I have 1 over 2. This one is it's different to say. I don't have 1 tooth, I have 1 half. When it's cut into 2 pieces, I have 1 half. Let's go down to this guy. I still have 1 colored in. Now I have 1, 2, 3 pieces. So my denominator is 3. Again, I don't call this 1/3, I call it 1/3. So 2 pieces and 3 pieces have their own special name, and after that, we can just add the th. So 1/3. Here I still have 1 piece, but now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 in all. So now I have 1/4. 1 half, 1/3, 1/4. Last one, I still have 1 piece out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 1/5. Now, we keep seeing this bottom number get bigger, but I don't know if you can tell, the pieces are actually getting smaller. And that's what's tricky about fractions. If you try and decide size by looking at the denominator, you would think the number's getting bigger, the fraction must be getting bigger, but it's the opposite. And the reason is because that thing is getting cut into more pieces. And the more cuts you make, the smaller the piece. Imagine these are 2 of the same cake. This top cake, I made 1 cut. So I have 2 pieces or halves. If you get a half of a cake, that's a lot of cake. But in this bottom cake, I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cuts. And here's the fun thing, every time you cut, the number of pieces is always going to be 1 more than the cuts. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So 5 cuts, 6 pieces. This piece is much smaller than this piece. So if I have 1/2 of a cake, that's a big piece. But if I have 1/6 of a cake, that's a smaller piece. So don't judge a size of a fraction by the denominator. Think about how many cuts you had to make in order to make that fraction. 1/2 is a big piece. 1/6 is smaller. And the more times I cut that cake, the tinier the piece of cake is going to be. I think sometimes teachers say, well, which piece would you want? And then kids go, what flavor cake? The flavor of cake doesn't matter. It's the number of cuts. I hope this was a good review of fractions for you. Next time we'll try and do a little bit of adding and subtracting of fractions. Until then, stay safe and be healthy. Jesus bless you. Bye-bye.